Hi, this is Jim Goodman. I want to welcome you to 10 Wheel Adventures. This week we visited Zion National Park, and this is a special video that's dedicated to a single hike we made while we were there. I hiked up to Angel's Landing. Now Belinda went along with me up to Scout Lookout. It was a very strenuous and difficult hike, and a little dangerous at times, and you'll see why I say so in just a second. Now it all starts out very normal and kind of typical of a hike there at Zion. It's very beautiful. The scenery is just magnificent in every direction.
There they go up.
I think you can actually go across that bridge. I think that's the scary part.
Now you'll see the top of this cliff on your right, and that is where I hiked to. Now I want you to forgive me all the heavy breathing. I'm not as in good a shape as I'd like to be, but I'm getting there. There must have been at least 50 or 60 switchbacks to get up to the top. Belinda was a trooper. She led the way all the way up to Scout Lookout. And here we are at Scout Lookout. We had a little bit of discussion whether she was going to go up, and she actually tried the first level, but stopped at that point, and it was a wise decision. They tell you there's chain to help yourself be stable and make your way up. And there is chain in places, and you'll see what I mean here. And I have to say, even with the chain, there were times that it still felt a little precarious. It was so narrow, and you were so close to the edge. And in the beginning, I probably had a little bit too much of a grip on that chain. But I think you can understand why. Now here's one of those places that had no chains. You're scrabbling up these rocks, hoping that none of them are loose and that none of them slide. And they didn't. In many places you can see where, the thousands of people before me had stepped. Now every time I'd get to one of these level spots thinking I was getting close to the top, I'd look out. And you see that little group of trees on that cliff right in the center there? That's where I'm headed.
Oh, look at the chipmunk. See a little chipmunk? He's not even nervous.
He was scampering all over the rocks though. The view up here was spectacular.
Würde ich auch den eher selektiv auspacken.
Wow, thank you, sweetheart.
And you can see this part had no chains whatsoever. And it really was as narrow as it appears here.
You want me white?
Now at this point in the hike, I'm feeling really thirsty, and of course I left the pack with the water in it with Belinda down below. I'm also beginning to feel a little fatigued, legs a little shaky. So there was some concern, I won't say there wasn't, and maybe a bit of fear, but not one to give up. I kept on marching upward.
Almost there. Yeah.
Boy, that's a good day.
Everybody along the trail was so friendly. They're all encouraging, whether they were going up or going down. And every time I'd come to an area like this, I would think, this has got to be the top. But then it kept on going. Now I will say this, the wind wasn't bad except till I got to this point, and it really picked up a lot. A little nervy at that point, but kept on going, and as soon as I got past that little area, the wind died back down again. There were no more change from this point on, and it really wasn't that wide. You can get an idea there with the three of us passing. Once again, I was thinking, I've got to be near the end. Sure enough, I was. So this is the view from up top. It was breathtaking. Now, I wasn't the only one up there. There were several people, and I'd met lots of people coming up and going down on the trail. Now, going down, I've just got a couple minutes here just to give you an idea of the difference this trail takes on when you're going down. On the way up, you're not as focused on what's below you because you're concentrating on each step forward and up. But on the way down, every step opens up the view, the view to the bottom. So you're a little more conscious of it. After a while, though, I kind of get used to it, and it wasn't too bad. At least where there were chains. Without chains, it was scary. Now in places it was definitely so steep that my knees wouldn't reach stepping down, so I had to kind of slide down a few places. And where there was no chain, it was definitely a little more scary. Now, it was right about in here that my battery on the GoPro went dead. So that ended the descent filming until I got to Scott's Landing, where I met up with Belinda. And I added just a couple of shots after Scott's Landing to give you some perspective of the climb that we had made. Now here we are on the switchbacks going up, or the last set of switchbacks before we get to Scott's Landing. And just give you an idea how far down they go. If you look way, way down below those first few people, even down, you can see people like little ants down there. And this is out even further, probably the first big set of switchbacks. As you look off into the distance, you can see the trail. Thanks again for joining us, and I'll have more from Zion for you soon.